measuring and systematizing culture. And I know you have like strong opinions about this, right? So could you help, if someone just never heard of Josey, never heard of anything that we just talked about, and they own a business, they own a dental office, what does that mean, measuring and systematizing culture? If I have one practice or 10 practices or 100 practices, what does that mean?
Mhm. So what that means is, it's all backed by research. I'm kind of a nerd in research, especially with team engagement, people engagement, workforce type stuff. And the greatest economic challenge slash disparity that we're facing is not anything regarding like efficiencies that like in the past Six Sigma or whatever could solve for us, right? It's actually all about empowering and unleashing human potential. So most people don't know how to empower human potential. I mean, you see where dental groups are growing. We know that within a practice, you have so much work and so much more that they could probably double revenue, double profitability if they could harness their people and unleash their energy and have them all rowing in the same direction. But instead, they grow by just acquiring more business, right? Just buying more practices rather than trying to like really refine and maximize what's within even that location. Go ahead. What were you
Or
saying?
yeah, I was going to say, we just did another podcast, and the way somebody else explained it is we've gotten in the habit of just throwing more people or money at it.
Right.
Right. So it's just like, oh, that thing's broken. We'll put 4 people to do this job that one person should do, or it should be maybe even automated. And we'll just keep throwing. So yeah, I'm fascinated by what direction you're going.
So, and that's not just in dentistry, that is business in general, that it is just this conglomeration and acquiring things and putting them together because nobody knows how really to unlock or unleash that energy and that potential. And so while dealing with human beings can be messy or complicated, or we just don't quite know, I mean, you ask a business owner, how did you learn how to manage your finances? They'd probably tell you something. How did you learn how to do an implant, dentist? How did you learn? And it's like, I went to this school, I did this program, I did this, whatever. How did you learn how to manage people?
Yeah.
There's nothing out there. They don't know how to do that, right?
Yep.
And so we have recognized through, I will say, we failed a lot, trial and error and figuring it out. But also having me been a team member in like a toxic environment, but also a help, like being, an employee, but then also in a leadership.
You've been on all ends of the spectrum.
Yes,
You've been the
yes,
leader. You've been the one who couldn't control your destiny, who couldn't make changes. You've lived on all ends of the spectrum.
right, you got it. So taking and what are the habits, right? We talk about systems or processes. I would say what are the habits that we have? How often, even if it's like, what are we talking about and how often are we talking or meeting with people? But what are the patterns, the habits, the systems, the things that even if you don't know all of the nuances of maybe you don't have a lot of great emotional intelligence or you don't read people really well, even if you follow these patterns or these systems and do these things, you're going to have a healthy culture, meaning you're going to get more out of your team members because they are going to be engaged. Because none of us want to go to work and be disengaged or be miserable or not feel like our talents are being utilized,
Yeah.
right? So team members want it just as bad as owners and leaders want it, but we don't know how to bring them together. And so when I talk about systemizing it, it is like, how can we bridge that gap and create those healthier relationships? What are the habits or the things that we should do on a regular basis that lead to greater outcomes in the like performance of people?